The Cold War era, spanning from the end of World War II to the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, was characterized by intense ideological rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. While the United States was often referred to as a capitalist superpower, the Soviet Union, officially known as the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics USSR, was a complex entity that raised questions about whether it could be considered an empire. This article explores the nature of the USSR as a socialist empire, drawing insights from a Cold War documentary that delves into the intricacies of Soviet governance, expansionism, and influence. The Socialist Empire. 1. Expansion of Soviet influence. The documentary underscores the expansive reach of the USSR across Eastern Europe and parts of Asia, creating a sphere of influence commonly known as the Eastern Bloc. Through mechanisms such as the Warsaw Pact, the Soviet Union maintained control over satellite states, solidifying its dominance in the region. 2. Ideological imperialism. Unlike traditional empires that expand for economic or territorial gain, the USSR's expansion was rooted in ideological imperialism. The spread of communism and socialist principles was a fundamental objective, and the Soviet Union actively supported communist movements worldwide, influencing governments and societies far beyond its borders. 3. Satellite states and Soviet control. The documentary sheds light on the establishment of satellite states in Eastern Europe, including East Germany, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, and others. These nations, while nominally sovereign, were under the considerable influence and control of Moscow, reflecting a form of imperial control. 4. Military presence and hegemony. A key aspect of the Soviet Empire was its military presence and the establishment of a vast network of military bases across its sphere of influence. This military hegemony served both defensive and expansionist purposes, solidifying Soviet control and deterring potential challengers. 5. Economic integration. The USSR's economic model also played a role in its imperial identity. The centralized planned economy, with Moscow at the helm, ensured economic integration within the socialist bloc. This economic interdependence further cemented the USSR's influence over its satellite states. Challenges to the imperial narrative. 1. National identities. Despite the USSR's control over satellite states, the documentary might explore instances where national identities and aspirations clashed with the Soviet imperial agenda. Resistance movements and uprisings, such as the Hungarian Revolution of 1956, challenged the narrative of a cohesive and unchallenged socialist empire. 2. Soviet decline and dissolution. The latter part of the documentary could address the factors that contributed to the decline of the USSR and its eventual dissolution in 1991. Economic inefficiencies, internal dissent, and nationalist movements within the Soviet republics played a role in dismantling the socialist empire. Conclusion. In analyzing whether the USSR can be considered a socialist empire, the Cold War documentary provides a nuanced perspective on the geopolitical landscape of the time. The Soviet Union's influence over its satellite states, ideological imperialism, and military presence contribute to its characterization as a socialist empire. However, the challenges and eventual dissolution of the USSR highlight the complexities and limitations of this imperial model, revealing the dynamic forces that shaped the Cold War era.